So death was a very was the anchor of my life for a
Wow.
couple years. So photography, in a way, to me was the only thing that I could really find that could transcend my life, can live way longer than
It was the thing that would make you immortal.
100%.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
What spurred that fear of death or that obsession? Was it just like an awareness of mortality, or was it something outside?
I think it was.
Get that line up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Character Development. I'm with the photographer Mavro. Who the hell are you?
Who am I? I'm just a kid from Lawrence, man.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm just a dude from Lawrence. But I'm also, I want to say to my kids, I say this a lot too. I'm evidence that you can do whatever you want to do in life.
You're evidence that you could do whatever you want to do in life.
Yeah.
How are you proving that concept?
So, especially at their age, so I mean, for some context, my kids are all in high school. I mean, I very much remember thinking.
So are these you gave birth to these children?
No, my kids.
Like you're saying your kids?
My kids, bro, because this is my youngest, man. I love them. So I teach photography to this group of high school kids.
Okay, yeah.
Those are my kids, man. Those are my youngins. But I remember being their age and thinking that the only way for me to make it, air quotes, make it, you know what I mean, in the industry, photography, whatever it is I wanted to do in life, like, I had to be from a city like New York. I had to be from LA. I had to be from Chicago. I had to be from air quotes, a city that's plugged in.
Yeah.
You know I mean, Lawrence is such a beautiful city, but let's be honest, like it's not on New York and Chicago level.
Shit here. We're not even in Boston, bro.
Exactly.
A lot of people when they're from Lawrence, they go elsewhere. They say I'm from Boston. You know what I'm
Which
saying?
is wild to me.
You know what I mean? More easily identifiable, but but go ahead, continue.
Yeah. No, so on that note, it's just more like I'm just a regular dude from Lawrence, Massachusetts, a place that no one has ever heard of.
Okay.
As you just said, a lot of people are from Lawrence and they say they're from Boston.
Yeah.
Because it's more easily identifiable because no one knows where Lawrence is at.
No, for sure.
You know, so I'm just a regular dude from Lawrence that is doing things I never would have thought I'd be doing.
Yeah. On that note, I would like to say the only people, not the only people, but people who I do see claim Lawrence are oddly not from Lawrence. They're actually people from our surrounding cities who want to be hood. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen that, and I'm like, you're not from here. Like, I've never seen you before.
Yeah, I've never seen you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
But what is the mission of your photography? Why do you photograph?
All right, so that reason has changed, honestly, because if you were to have asked me that question, again, when I was maybe 18, 19, 20 years old, so not that far into when I started, because I started photography pretty late, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how old were you?
I was about 18, maybe turning 19 when I really when I got into photography.
That is kind of
which is kind of late, you know, because like again, my youngins, I have one that's 14 or just turned 15, and they've been shooting for 2 years, so they started when they were 12.
Wow,
which is amazing. So I can't even imagine where they're gonna be when they're my age.
Yeah,
I will not be saying my age out loud. No, I'm talking shit. But yeah, so I'm 26, almost 27.
Okay.
So I can't even imagine if I started at 12 years old. That's insane to me, you know. So I guess like looking back, I started pretty late. So 18, almost 19 years old, give or take. And at that age, 18, 19, even like when I was 20, if you asked me that question when I was that age, I would have said that the main reason I photograph is because I want to prove that I existed.
That's funny because, you know, I said this in the episode I recorded yesterday. Word. Like, literally, like, that is the point of the human will. But continue, though. Yeah. I want you to... You wanted to prove you exist? Yeah, and I want to hear more about that too, but I just wanted to prove I exist. I mean, one, because at the time I was taking a lot of philosophy classes, you know, so shout out to Aristotle and, you know. That's my boy right there. You know, I was taking a lot of philosophy classes, but overall, like, the reason that I even took these philosophy classes, so it's not like I took these classes and I just happened to gain the interest because of the class. I took the class because I already had this interest in death. Truly, that's what it was. Like, and I, in a way, still have this fear of death, but at the time... Oh, you said death. Death. Okay, yeah. Right. Not to get into some existential, you know, like... This is a very philosophical podcast, bro. I love it. Go crazy. All right, don't even get me started. But ultimately, so I started reading a lot of Aristotle, a lot of Seneca. I don't know if you said Seneca. Yeah, a lot of journals. The Cynic? Yeah. I know Seneca. You know, so Seneca has a lot of journals, especially like how to, like, there's a book or journal entries that he has, a combination of them called How to Die, which really is called, it's really about how to live a fulfilling life.
That way, when death comes around the corner, you're ready, kind of thing. So death was was the anchor of my life for a couple years. So photography, in a way, to me, was the only thing that I could really find that could transcend my life, can live way longer than
it was the thing that would make you immortal.
100%.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
What spurred that fear of death or that obsession? Was it just like an awareness of mortality, or was it something outside?
I think I always had that awareness of mortality, especially as like a youngin. I mean, you know, I never hurt like any animals. I was never really into like death itself, which is more the idea of growing old. Even when I was younger, I was already thinking about this.
Yeah, I
think
know.
it's you know, so it wasn't necessarily that death was the thing that scared me. It was more just growing old, and there is some differences between you know, like, but I think a big thing for me was like seeing my grandmother grow old, and then eventually when I was in early high school, so like 14, 15, I lost my aunt sooner than I thought I ever would. Especially at that age, when we're younger, we just believe that all the adults in our life are gonna be in our lives forever.
The realization that, you know, your parents will die one day is one of the hardest like pills to swallow. Like when you're young, you know what I'm saying? And if you're old and you haven't accepted that fact, and I mean, not that like, yo, it's just it's a reality, you know what I'm saying? But continue though.
No, for sure. And you bring up a good point. So me losing my aunt then made me question that exact same thing, where it's like, oh, that if I can lose her, which, you know, I was very close to her.
Yeah.
I was like, if I could lose her, then really I could lose anybody. And anybody then, by extension, means my mom. So then I started questioning, again, like not only my mom's mortality, but then my own. And this became this thing that just drove everything that I did. So it's like I became obsessed with like wanting to make an impact that's bigger than myself, wanted to make something, like you said, that makes me immortal. Just obsession with like my mortality. And then photography ended up being this thing that just like people love what I do, and it's just like also this is just the beginning of the digital age. So if I make something like that, like you know, something digital that necessarily isn't tangible and can't break down, you know what I mean? Like for example, if you build all these structures are going to break down eventually. Everything to dust we all return. Things too. The digital age to me was like, that's not gonna break down.
I gotta dap you up real quick. I think you and I have actually been on a very similar frequency, even though we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But continue though, please.
That's where I was at, and I was like, you know what, the digital age from here, I can't even imagine where it's gonna be when I'm in my 60s and 70s. So like, if I start really tapping into this and making things and just pumping it into the digital world, like I'm gonna live forever. And then that's where it was for the first couple of years of my career. Okay. It's definitely not the same thing. I think that's an undertone now, and always will be. But now I have a different mindset. For sure.
It's sort of like, and I understand that because, in the undertone respect, like I no longer like write for the sake of learning how to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of my youth and a lot of my artistry, I was obsessed with death, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I was driven by that, and that's always why, to some extent, why I've always been an impatient person. You know what I'm saying? And accepting my own mortality has caused me to be more patient. Granted, I'm still not the most patient. You know what I'm saying? Don't irritate me, please. Fuck. What did I fucking ask you, bro? I just got sidetracked.
I mean, I think the original question was, why do I photograph?
So what is the purpose now? That's
the purpose now. I think the main purpose now, truthfully, is really to just make an impact on other people's lives. Which really, if you think about it, that's just an extension of the original basis of immortality and like living forever. Because then it's like my impact and my influence will live on through others, and hopefully they carry what I took to other people, and they just keep passing the torch. Things that I taught.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. I had a physics professor actually. This dude loved to shit on Christianity, but he was probably one of the most religious people I met. Not like technically religious. He just had a spiritual understanding of things. Still an atheist though, as far as I know though. Which was like, I'm like, you're a strange character, man.
Yeah, that's interesting dynamics.
But he gave me a breakdown of like the analysis of like the resurrection and the whole Jesus shit, and what the Holy Spirit is, and the from his perspective, and I, as a non-subscribing person to religion, you know what I'm saying, I actually like it and I agree with it. But the idea of the Holy Spirit is the memory of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because by remembering, we actually keep life. You know what I'm saying? In the person, right? And the resurrection of Jesus was not the physical resurrection of Jesus, but the persistent remembrance of Jesus as he rose in our minds. You know what I'm saying? And in our consciousness, right? And a lot of beyond that, because it's not even a religious thing, but we do it all the time with art, where a lot of it is memorialization or it's all an attempt at immortalizing things. You know what I mean? A moment, a memory, a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's just the constitution of our society, not in terms of like economics or like politics, but just how we see ourselves and then how we treat ourselves is really situated in like the artistic consciousness of a culture. You know what I'm saying? Even the people who aren't artistic are affected by this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you feel has been like the social value of photography? Yeah.
Sheesh. I mean, it's a loaded question now. It's like the social value. It's crazy because I just feel like photography now is such a pivotal thing in society. At least Western society.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like that's a whole other conversation. But
we need to go out east. Like we'll talk and do some investigations. You know what I mean? Do some learning.
But if you really think about it, just like photography, just like visual media, is just pivotal. Like again, you think about things like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, especially now, who has taken over.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people don't think about how important it is for like visual stimulation and really photography. Like everything we buy because we're influenced through ads. Ads have photographs of the thing that you want to buy.
Yeah.
So it's like regardless, like photography is literally everywhere. Now we're accustomed to having our phones 24/7 and photographing our meals. You know what I mean? So it's like and I bring this up to, and the way I bring it up is important because the first week that I like our first week with my youngins, I taught them, or I guess I talked about like who here is a photographer? Like have you ever done photography before? And none of them raised their hands.
Even the one who've been doing it for 2 years?
Yeah.
Live.
But that's more of an identity thing. I mean, that's more of like what is that?
You gotta feel
imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean? That's more like, oh well, I have a camera and I take pictures, but I don't deserve the title of photographer.
I know what you mean.
You feel me? That's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. But I asked them like, who is a photographer, or like, have y'all done photography before? And none of them raised their hands. And then I'm like, all right, have y'all ever documented or taken pictures of something important? And again, none of them raised their hands. And I'm like, all right, then who here has iPhones, or just like an average like a modern smartphone with a camera built in? All right, everyone raised their hands. And I'm like, all right, have y'all taken a selfie, or have you taken a picture of your food before and uploaded it on the gram? And again, they all raised their hands. So I'm like, so then what's the difference between doing that that you don't deem important, for example, because the question is, again, like in society, versus whatever you think is important, air quotes. I'm just like, everyone now in this age is a photographer, really. Like everyone takes photos of everything. Everyone got a camera roll of an archive of their life. Like everyone has photography in their life now, at least.
1,000%. I think it's true. I think you point to another phenomenon of the digital age that it's a phenomenon of our whole society for like the past however long, and I mean especially American society. And I think the digital age kind of like disturbs that, and it's this idea of expertise versus legitimacy. Okay. Like all those youth, all your youngins, they had the expertise. Like they had the knowledge of photography and doing all this, that, and the third. But it's like you say with imposter syndrome, the legitimacy. Do you feel as though you are legitimate and you are official, so to say, in having this knowledge, right? because a lot of times, what legitimacy is, we trust our doctors because they went to school, but they also got the MD,
the degree to show for
to legitimize the expertise versus. So what actually on that note, what do you think about that? Is that spark any thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm glad you actually bring that up because I had a very similar conversation not that long ago. I feel like, and I'm for it for sure. I'm for like what I'm about to mention. The conversation of like legitimacy versus again like expertise. I think we're slowly going towards the legitimacy doesn't necessarily matter anymore.
Well, I think
at least in the arts,
we're re-legitimizing.
Yeah,
like we're redefining what legitimacy.
Yeah,
means.
that's what it is. So not necessarily straying away from it, but just redefining what it means to be legitimized. Because then it's like, I feel like a lot, and I feel like a lot of things I've seen lately is a lot of these bigger jobs, a lot of these bigger gigs, a lot of like photographers out here shooting for GQ, for Vogue, for this, or videographers and people who directing Bad Bunny's music videos who get millions of views, and these big gigs that like back in the day, like you had to have gone to NYU School of Arts, like TIS School of Arts, or the Masters. Like only these people would get these opportunities. Now it's all about people who just know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And have never gone to school in their life. Like they just happen to either be born with this talent, and they just have the eye, and they just know the right people or put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, again, there is no, for example, there's no MD, there's no diploma to show what they know. They just know what they know, and based off of the strength of either work that they've created, work they created without this degree,
without the legitimizing structure.
Yeah, like just work that they created with their own bare hands, off of their own knowledge. That is now what is used to legitimize you.
Yeah.
Not like where you went to school or who taught you this. That doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Can you do it? How well can you do it? Oh, word, you're good at what you do. Pull up. You know what I mean? So it's like it's different now too, and it's like I love it. In a way, I love it because it's just like, again, back in the day, these opportunities were only accessible to such a niche or a small pocket of individuals versus now is like, it don't matter where'd you learn it. As long as you know it.
Yeah. I think a lot of innovation in our society, technological, artistic, intellectual, is lost because of that legitimacy problem. You know what I'm saying? Because people who do want to pursue these things then have to enter these fields or these academic realms that have their own rules and restrictions.
And a lot of those things are standardized too.
They're standardized, and they don't incentivize change necessarily either. They don't necessarily want new ideas. They want new ideas to support the old ideas. You know what I'm saying? Because that's also how you maintain the legitimacy of old knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
New ideas done using the old formats, or whatever the case may be. Like
exactly. We had the y'all should check out the Graham Hancock
I love him.
Documentary on Netflix, Apocalypse. It wasn't as great as some of the podcasts he's been on, where he's gone into mad detail.
Those podcasts are crazy.
It's fucking wild, bro. But he's an example of someone like, he did legitimate research and investigations and asked legitimate questions, but because his theory was counter mainstream, like they pushed him out. They wouldn't publish his shit. He couldn't have a career in academia because of it. Even though he was it's not that it's not that hard to be an academic, but it's not that hard to be an academic. You're writing papers and you're doing cool shit. It's mad fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like you're building cars or like mining for fucking lithium batteries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying and shit. But so any response to that, or should I next question?
I mean, shout out to Graham Hancock. That's the guy.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
That's the goal. For those who haven't seen his work or never heard of his work, highly recommend at least seeing a podcast or two, because the man he knows what he's talking about. And again, like going back to like the legitimacy thing, is like I wouldn't question if he went to school for the things that he talks about. I wouldn't question if he's like, you bring up good questions, but can I see your degree? It's like, nah, it's just.
A lot of charlatans can masquerade with some sort of paperwork. Like, I know I have a lot of professors, and I haven't had these professors, but I know people who've had these professors who are just butt cheeks. because their priority is not like teaching or even the work, it's self-validation. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that degree is very validating. People look at you differently. People treat you differently. Mm-hmm. I've had, like, real talk, when I used to say I want a PhD, girls looked at me differently than when I tell them I'm an entrepreneur. When I was saying I'm gonna go be a PhD, I was much more attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because no, people don't always believe in the entrepreneurship thing. It's hard, it's challenging, and it might fail.
I also feel like entrepreneurship nowadays has a lot of negative connotations.
Definitely. You know? A lot of corny people, a lot of charlatans.
Yeah.
And I mean, snake oil salesmen out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What Ponzi is schemes, pyramid schemes, like just
Forex.
Oh God, unfortunately get like linked to the idea of
yeah,
you know, it sucks. But
nah, and you're an entrepreneur, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you have this service that you provide for people, and at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is about solving problems and adding value to people's life. And I was just speaking with Kincaid McLaren. She's a photographer in Providence. You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about in Prov, there's like an access problem to photography. Photographers are expensive. You know what I'm saying? Getting them high quality things is hard. But she's come up with some really interesting strategies for how to all right, how do we still make sure photographers can get revenue while still providing, photography? People need headshots. People need shit for, people want to become models. People want to become actors. People want fucking family photos, man. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, bro, it's a service. You're providing a memorial service in a way. Like you're capturing these moments for people, and they hold on to it forever. You know what I'm saying? Wolford is always gonna look at that picture you took of him and be like, damn, I'm a sexy ass man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how has been enterprising your service and your photography, and what has it been like making money and working on it, right? Because we love art and it's cool to do art, but motherfuckers got bills to pay, right? You know what I'm saying? So what's that experience been like for you?
I mean, I'll be honest, man, it hasn't been easy. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna lie, just say out here, oh, bro, money, it doesn't always come, and it's been a struggle since I started doing this, and it still is. You know what I mean? I think the struggles change and you adapt and you start filling in certain pieces, but it's always going to be hard. Mm-hmm. At least for now in my career. Maybe later on it won't be an issue I have to worry about anymore. But it's been tough, and I think it's particularly harder for me only because I don't like doing shit for money.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if it comes down to it, like I just feel like once you start doing something not only for money but as a job, it immediately like distinguishes like the passion. Like I no longer want to do it because I have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I gotta do this for a job because I gotta survive, then I'm not enjoying it anymore because again I have to do this. And now there's pressure, now there's again all these things that come with it. And I think that's my main thing too. So really finding that balance of like I wonder if I can get like money elsewhere and then just use this thing that I love to do and do it as this thing that I love to do, and not, I don't know, just separating that. And I think a big thing too, especially like nowadays, is like ideally, like we'd all love to get paid to do what we love, but really though, getting paid to do what you love and having that be your job isn't always a good thing.
Nah, it isn't.
Because again, like if you got to do this all the time, like that's how you get burnt out. That's how you lose inspiration. That's how like writer's block, artist block. It's the same thing, you know. So it's like doing it consistently. I personally don't like that. I'd rather have like another job that might tie into what I do and I still enjoy, but then keeping my craft as just that, my craft. Obviously, like I still get paid for whatever gigs I got to do, you know, but it's not my main source of income.
It's like that side money type shit. You know what I mean? I know what you mean though. Have you ever seen the movie The Menu?
It's on my list. I haven't. No.
I haven't seen it either, but I'm like a spoiler king, and I just be watching like movie analysis because I just love, like, I don't even care if I'm gonna watch the movie still anyway, even though I know exactly what happens.
That's funny.
But it's exactly one of those situations where this guy who's a chef, like, goes so hard and does it all for material gain and validation, right? And okay, the whole movie is him actually just fucking committing like a murder, like, you know what I'm saying, as a result of, that's such an extreme case,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, but it was just on my mind, the accumulation of all that burden and stress on your craft, because it's supposed to be kind of therapeutic and it's supposed to bring you joy, right? Man, and it reminds me, have you ever seen Friends? You watch Friends?
Like the show Friends?
Yeah.
Team The Office, man.
Bro, you can be both. The fuck?
You can't pin too bad.
Nah, bro. I just watched this Instagram clip of like Saudi Arabia, The Office version.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know if it was real or not, bro, but it was bad funny.
I need that. I've seen season 1 of like the English version, like the original.
Yeah. Not it?
It's not it, bro.
Nah, it's funny.
I'm glad we made it funny.
Yeah.
But
fucking.
I'm sorry, continue.
Nah, I was gonna say, is it fucking? I was waiting for Ronaldo to come out. You know what I'm saying? Because he signed to Saudi Arabia or whatever.
Yeah.
But have there ever been moments of imposter syndrome?
All the time. To this day, still.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it will never fully go away. You know what I mean? Because I've also realized now that I've been, you know, I've gotten the opportunity to work with more established individuals or even more established brands. Again, like, I don't want to say I never would have thought, because that's a little pessimistic, but it's more like, it's just, I'm honored to be able to have worked with brands like Adidas and brands like Saucony or Saucony, pardon me. If they heard that, they'd be pretty angry, but it's Saucony, yeah.
It's Saucony?
I'm pretty sure it's Saucony.
Bro,
yeah.
I've been saying Saucony's, like, everyone says Saucony, bro.
I said that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that dude was wrong too. But regardless.
Send us a pair of free kicks, and honestly, we'll say your name right forever.
Hey, forever, bro, for real. So, again, like, working with these bigger brands as well, like, in my mind, like, people as established as a brand like Adidas or as a brand like Bodega, as a brand, you know what I mean? Like, in my mind, people and groups of individuals like that know what they're doing. Like, that's, like, this is, like, elite. Like, again, this is a business. This is a corporation. This is an entity. Like, they know all their moving parts move fluidly. Like, everything is oiled. Like, this is perfect. That is not the case.
Hell the fuck no. Yeah,
absolutely not.
Tell us more.
Yeah, that is not the case. Not talking shit about any of these people that I've worked with at all. Everyone I've worked with has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's the reality is, even people in those situations who make a lot of money doing what we want to do and work with these people and do these big gigs and major production, photo shoots and all this, like, with big budgets of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, like, everyone at the end of the day is just strictly doing their best, and they are trying to figure it out as they go.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as someone who knows what they're doing. So with that being said, that made me feel, my first time I ever had like a big gig like that, which was a couple years ago, made me feel so much better, because I'm just like, it's not that I have imposter syndrome and I don't think that I'm good at this. It's more like, bro, we are really just winging it. Yeah. To an extent, obviously to an extent. Like me, I'm very confident in what I do. Like, I'm ready, but I don't know it all.
There's method to the madness.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and I've noticed that really is a consistent thing.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't generalize and say that everyone is like this. Maybe the past 6 experiences that I've had just all happen to be people like that. But at this point, I think that could just be a universal truth, where it's like, we all just trying our best, man. We all trying our best, and like, we doing what we can with what we know and with what we have.
For sure, yo. Nah, bro, I think it's a universal truth, because, you know, besides this podcast, my day job, like, I interview entrepreneurs for an entrepreneurship incubator. I don't know if you know what an incubator is. They just fucking incubate.
I was like, I know, in terms of like babies.
It's almost exactly what it sounds like, where they take baby projects and they help raise them.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Right? Yeah, yo.
I like the wording. I never would have.
Yeah. Check out in Rhode Island, I'm gonna look this up, but I think it's Greenhouse Incubator, Entrepreneurship Incubator. You gotta check that out. I'll find the real title eventually. But what you call it? Including this podcast, I think there's got to be like episode fucking like 13 maybe or 10 or something. Nice. But including this podcast, I've interviewed at least in two to 3 months. I've interviewed over 20 entrepreneurs, and that has been. There's no, I think on the outside, it looks perfect.
It always does.
But on the inside, they know the priority is completion, not perfection.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Completion to the best of their ability, for sure.
Completion to the best of their ability, yeah. Because it's funny though that I think us as consumers don't often realize, oh, it could have been better. Like according to the person who created it, it could have been better. Mm-hmm. But like we don't care because we just enjoy it as it is anyway.
As it is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I don't know, nothing is perfect, bro. Nature's not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How do you feel? Any follow up to that?
Yeah, and I guess I just want to add, like, it really be like that. It really be like, bro, we're just trying to do our best. And I think it looks so perfect from the outside because, like, the more you do it, like whatever it is that you do, the better you get at figuring it out in the moment. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the better you get at just like adapting, the better you get at like making quicker decisions and whatever the case may be. Because again, like I've thrown myself into like projects or shoots or whatever where I had no idea what I was gonna do. Mm-hmm. Like I have no idea what I'm even doing. But then once the moment starts where I gotta like do it,
it's you going.
I'm going.
I'm not done.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going. I'm gonna pick up my camera and figuring it out. And I'm figuring it out as I do it. Yeah. And it's like that's where the skill is. It's not knowing exactly what you're gonna do. And it's more like being able to like take what you know and applying it to any situation.
Taking what you know into situations where the things you don't know, and then using the things you know to learn the things you don't know.
To figure it out. And quoting what you said like a couple minutes prior is like, we are problem solvers.
Yeah, yeah.
That's literally all we are.
Fucking troubleshooting like a motherfucker, bro.
But we are problem solvers. So it's like, there's no way anyone will ever know the exact like resolve to any problem unless you tackle the problem head on. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So I think it's just crazy to me that like when I was younger, I used to think that like these photographers and these brands, like they got it all figured out. Like everything is perfect. Mm-hmm. They are the best at what they do. And then now I'm getting to meet these people where like my inspos are becoming my peers in a way. Yeah. And it's like I'm like, oh shit. Like,
idols become rivals.
Yeah. Where I'm just like, oh wow, like I thought you had the whole world figured out. And I thought you knew everything. And then now I'm just like, I just help you with something. That's you know what I mean? Where it's just like, bro, we are just doing our best. Mm-hmm. Really, that's the scope of everything I wanted to say. Like,
no, for sure.
We are just doing our best.
I get the impression too that you had to make a lot of bold choices. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Were you? And I say that like, we often like discount what's considered a bold choice. Like, you know what I mean? We may think it's bold to like go spit game at that shorty or whatever, and it is bold.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things we don't consider in terms of the parameters of modesty and boldness, right? Were you always prone or keen to making bold choices? Dude,
I think something I had to not only learn how to do, but like build the courage to be able to like make that decision when the opportunity arose.
Yeah.
Because there were opportunities in my life and in my craft, in my career, where I had the opportunity to make a bold decision and I did not, out of, again, fear or what were we just talking about?
Modesty,
but brain fart. Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Thank you. Yeah. So out of fear or out of like imposter syndrome, or like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do whatever the case may be. Yeah, but then not only later on, so learning how how to take those bold decisions and how to make those decisions, but then also like having the courage to do so.
Yeah, yeah.
And then eventually, I very much took made a couple bold decisions.
What was the first? Do you remember the first bold decision you made?
100%. It was an opportunity to a really big gig that I know I was not ready for, but I took it anyways.
Yeah. Do you encourage anybody who's not ready for something to go out and go do it anyway?
Yes.
All right. I do.
To an extent. It depends. Like, read the room and really like analyze and know yourself. I mean, like because also, what is that word? Being boastful, like just not.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like.
I know what you mean though, and that there is, and I think that is often why people can be hesitant about the modest approach, or hesitant about the bold approach, I should say, because so many things, and I think our life get convoluted or like mixed up with other things, right? Where some people confuse confidence with arrogance, right?
Yeah.
Some people confuse I'll just leave it at that, right? Confidence with arrogance, right? I've had people tell me, "Yo, you're mad arrogant." I'm like, no, I'm not, because is the thing. I don't shit on other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
There's key differences because you can be confident about yourself and what you do without bringing other people down.
Yeah,
and that's the difference, you know.
It's a level of self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm mad smart. Still mad shit I can't do in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's one that's important because I think a lot of people see intelligence as very legit
and very intimidating.
Very intimidating, but also very status giving. Like we think highly of smart people sometimes, and in a way that sometimes we undercut it because they make us feel bad about maybe our lack of intelligence, right? Because our ego really, our selfhood, I should say, is dependent on expression, and when you express yourself, you will garner a certain amount of status, or you will garner certain reactions. You know what I'm saying? And you will garner like a reputation of sorts. You know what I'm saying? You asked me earlier, like, to talk a little bit about that expression stuff. Have you ever read a little bit of Nietzsche at all?
I don't need to, man. I know.
Yeah.
You know, I want to. I really do, but I gotta be in the right headspace for that.
He can be pretty fucking heavy, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, it's only because I read a lot about nihilism in general. So yeah, but I know that's like king of nihilism, so I gotta be ready for it.
I do wanna make a correction there, man, because he isn't like he's actually the biggest
father, I guess, like in terms of. I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah, please.
He gave us language for nihilism, but just like everything else in our society, like anything created on the ivory tower is what I call academia. It's a telephone game. It gets miscommunicated as it trickles down to us, right?
Yeah.
Because Nietzsche he wrote about nihilism because he was afraid of it, and he was afraid of us becoming a nihilistic community and society, right? But then now, man, motherfuckers are like, man, I love Nietzsche. I'm a nihilist. I'm like, bro, you didn't get it. like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but one thing he talks about is, and there are instances where I'm like, all right, Nietzsche, chill. Like, and one is, for example, the will to power. And it's sort of this argument or this theory that every human being has it's almost like a will for control. We all seek or desire control, power, and I think in his language was control. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to exercise our strength over the world, right? Because that's how we have mastery. That's how we become safe and secure, right? Nothing can harm you if you are master of everything, right? Or if you have power over everything. And now I'm convoluting it a little bit, right? Even this is a little mixed up and watered down. But I say that because I didn't totally agree with it, and I've heard other people come up with other like wills to kind of theories, and mine is the will to expression. Like, you know what I'm saying? There is this internal energy or force inside of us, drive it, and it seeks to come out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it seeks to impress itself on the world and become permanent. You know what I'm saying? And to be validated. Because we have this weird thing about us, and low key, I feel like the LGBT movement in our society, you know, a lot of people I'm in the middle on a lot of things and I hear a lot of sides, but just from the middle perspective, I think what that proved to me, especially like in regards to like trans people, and this is why I have like, you know, sympathy and respect for people, you know, who go through that experience and you know who make the claims they do about existence and acknowledgement. Like we want to be seen because we want to exist. Like, you know what I'm saying? We want to have material we want our flesh to be flesh, you know what I'm saying? And it all starts with what's inside of us, right? And when those things disconnect, because that's what I think the imposter syndrome is too, to a certain extent. It's a disconnection between the inside and the outside. On the outside, you're being told you're this or you're that, right? And it's a good thing usually. But on the inside, you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, yo. How do you feel? What do you feel like photography does as a medium different from other mediums? Yeah.
Oh, all right. I mean, so first of all, I guess I'm gonna start on the technical aspect of it because it's like I'm super into art. I mean, I'm like super into art history as well. I mean, I love the techniques. I love everything about. I'm super into Caravaggio right now.
Caravaggio?
Yeah, Italian Renaissance painter.
I'm about to Google
that. God, if you look, his
is
work,
he the dude who made the David cut off the head of Goliath?
Yeah.
The fucking the was that the Hitler in Paris album cover?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I know like the original piece. Yeah.
Yeah, cause fucking West Side Gun. I know that's how Hitler in Paris. The fuck am I talking about? No, West Side Gun had an album cover. I'm pretty sure it was West Side Gun had that on his album cover. Caravaggio. Yeah, but yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I ain't gonna look it up. I know what we're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, he it's like his technique is absolutely insane. And again, I don't know too much about the medium itself in terms of like studio art, like painting. Mm-hmm. But I don't need to know about it to appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know. And I've been super into his work lately, and I love art in general, and just like what it takes to really like conceptualize these pieces and make these grand paintings like by hand. I think to me it's an absolute like sorry, it kind of threw me off.
My bad, bro. It's an absolute what? I'll stop fucking with the shit. The camera's off now. Don't work no more. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No, I just want to make sure you're still recording.
Oh yeah. It is. It's just fucking it was just stuck in one frame.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what was I saying?
It was absolutely
something. Just like being able to like make these pieces, like these grand pieces for the, I mean, have you ever been to a museum? I hope.
I've been to a few, yeah.
Have you ever seen like a really big scale painting? Like it's just like, bro, like the awe from it, like the awe inspired. I don't know, bro. Just something about it is like beautiful and also kind of like ethereal. I don't know, man. But just seeing these large paintings to me has always been insane, especially because I know that like personally my hands cannot create those things. So it goes really to tie all this back to your question. On a technical aspect, I appreciate that photography, you don't need to have technical skill. I mean, so it really like it alleviates that struggle. It's
a more accessible form of art.
Exactly. Really, to put it, it's much more accessible form of art because it's like I can't draw and paint for the life of me.
Nor can I.
You get me? So, but then it's like because I can't do that. And I truly don't think that even with study and practice, I can get any better. Obviously, that's a very pessimistic way to look at it. But I don't think I'm capable of it. You know what I mean? So then it's like, then why should I deprive myself of some kind of form, like some kind of expression? And I appreciate that photography just made that a little easier for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you feel, how do I put it? Like, I know some people who be like, nah, man, you can do whatever you set your mind to. And it's like, probably, but like, it's a weird position because, brother, you've gotten so fucking nice at photography. And like, that's your thing now. You know what I'm saying? Not that it'd be weird if you started painting, but like it would be kind of like it would be a new character arc. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, damn. Have you been to Italy?
Nah, I want to.
Okay. You a traveler though.
Yeah, I'm traveling.
Where have you been?
Honestly, not too many places yet. I try to cross a place off of my list every year. I also return to a lot of places because they.
You've been to UK multiple times, right?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
But for example, like I went to Arizona again last month.
To Grand Canyon. Yeah,
it's my 4th time.
Brother, I love every time you post a picture of the Grand Canyon. I'm not like it just feels new to me.
Bro,
it just feels new to me. Yeah.
And so there are places that I return to because they just resonate with me on a spiritual level, man. Like Arizona is one of those places that like I go really to truly rejuvenate. Like I go there, bro, to just like no phone, no nothing. It's just me, my camera, and this nature. I mean, it's just like this vast openness of the world, and it just reminds me how small and what's the word? What's synonym for not important?
Insignificant.
Thank you. Insignificant. I am. Yeah. So it just reminds me that I don't matter. Again, not to touch into nihilism, but
no. But so I think no. But nihilism raises an important point. I think nihilism has to be a phase. You can't stay nihilistic.
No. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's an important step, I think, to a larger, like personal rebirth.
Yeah, I agree.
Because this is my question to you. Why is it important to you to feel small or insignificant?
I think it's because we place so much value on the wrong things.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we place value on the wrong things, and this value is what sets things up like. Oh God, just what's the word? Disappointment. You know what I mean? Just like I can't even think of the words right now because it's just so much, but. I think personally I need to be reminded because again I set so much value and importance on the things that really don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the material things or whether it's a job or money, it's like these things truly don't matter. What matters is the human experience, the human connection, relationships, like moments, how you feel. I mean, like health, and I mean actual health, and like you know what I mean, not just yes taking care of your body, but your mental health. It's just all the things that actually matter. We forget about in the day to day.
Yeah, it's facts. It's a rat race kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I think a little more than it just being a rat race. We live in a city. Yeah. Where are the fucking trees at? Like, you know what I mean? We put concrete around the tree. You know what I'm saying? We don't put trees around the concrete. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we're containing it here. And like so for example, like when I was at Oxford, one thing I really appreciated was that I could just walk into these like little woodland area straight out of my crib. Can't do that here. No. When I used to live in Ohio, bro, the woods, we would fucking go to the woods. I used to get in trouble for going to the woods. You know what I'm saying? Because we were not supposed to be in the woods.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it really, I felt the call. You know what I'm saying? To go be wild and free. And even now,
I just feel like to an extent we all have that. We all have that like you said, like that need. I think there's different things inside of us too, but one of those things is definitely to be one with nature. Yeah. Like just being outside, truly like outside and just like being with nature is just like everyone has that, and at least I hope everyone experiences it to a certain extent. So that to me is like, that's like my high, honestly. Yeah. So I go back to Arizona at least once a year. That's been
touching
like my
grass.
go-to. Yeah. Just you know what I mean, like I always think of that line from Frank Ocean. What song is that? Was it Pink and White? Where he talks about kind of like man, what's that line?
Sky
like
was pink and white.
Singing it.
Black and yellow.
He talks about like kneeling down, like kissing the land that birthed you.
Damn.
Something along those lines. I mean, so it's just like grateful that I'm even here.
No, it's real shit. Real shit. This is why I think also people need to study more physics. And I think they also need to teach physics in like elementary school in an environmental way. Like, because so much just gets lost from our not having knowledge of how even our planet works. You know what I'm saying? Because also the planet can teach you a lot about you. right? If you want to learn about love or friendship, you know what I'm saying, watch some animals because they're also free and pure from all the social and expectations that we put on ourselves, right? You know what I'm saying? But like a wolf pack is a family and they have brothers and sisters and they operate in hierarchies and they express emotions. And some people just aren't around animals enough. Like you be around animals, if you think an animal don't have like a consciousness or some type of thought and emotion, like bro, be around them.
Yeah.
Because it's freaky.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be freaky. It's pretty obvious that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here's a question, you know, and this is kind of bringing it back in a roundabout way. You know, you're a photographer from Lawrence who travels frequently.
Yeah, which I never answered where I've been before, so I apologize.
Yeah. We could kind of move. I feel like you gave me some top twos because also, if you're gonna go to UK at all in the next year, bro, I'll be there. So come visit.
Yeah, and actually, I want to. Again, I was in London a couple months ago too.
Yeah.
To Iceland. But I loved it out there. That was amazing.
It's a good time, man. I was in Oxford, and Oxford was, I won't lie, kind of whack. I love the people. You know what I'm saying? The physical space, though, like, I felt weird eventually. And also because there was too many fucking trees. Like, at the end of the day, I'm still a city kid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, it got so quiet out there, I was disturbed. Like, eventually, like, I couldn't sleep the first, like, few weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was too quiet.
Yeah.
But when I did go to London for a week, bro, I was in my element, hopping on the train and just riding wherever the fuck we was going. Same. And just pop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, how do you feel? Because, you know, this is a topic of conversation we've had a lot in Lawrence. I feel like I had a lot growing up in Lawrence. It's like, oh, we need to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? We need to leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing for us here. All the goals that we have will not be achievable here.
That's crazy. You sound like half my life right now.
Tell me, like, what is your reaction to that? What is your, you know, because now you don't seem like someone who feels that way, right?
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
My whole life was that. At least my whole life here in Lawrence was that.
Yeah.
Up until, like, I don't want to say recently, but maybe a couple years. Was that exactly word by word what you just said. Like, there's nothing for me here. The goals that I want to reach will not be met here. Like, I need to get out of Lawrence.
So what has sort of like or changed your perspective?
I think really mainly two things. The first thing is like gratitude for this space and for what this city has given me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's the first thing, that like Lawrence has given me everything that I am now. You get me? And I don't think I was really considering that before. I think I was too busy looking at what other places, really other cities, could give me versus what Lawrence has already given me.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, truthfully, just proof that you do not need to be from one of these major cities. Again, going back to like what we talked about when we first started this conversation, I started getting all these opportunities even though I'm from Lawrence, Massachusetts, and based out of Lawrence, Massachusetts, and living, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Just because of the power of social media or the power of the digital age, like people underestimate the power of these tools. Where it's like, bro, the digital age, you can talk to anybody in the world.
You have access to 7 billion people.
Bro, you have access to the entire world through your screen.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to
your
be
pocket.
like in your pocket. Yes, obviously it helps to be in a place like New York, whatever the case may be, where if an opportunity arises, you hop on the train and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little different. So there are limitations, but it is not impossible.
Yeah.
And I think once I really started getting plugged in and meeting these people and getting these opportunities that I would never, ever in my life would have thought I'd be getting, once I started getting them, I'm like, oh, I don't need to be in a place like New York. Why would I want to place myself in a situation where there's not only more people, which means more competition to do the same thing that I want to do? Yes, more opportunities, but way more competition, first of all. And then second of all, it's like, again, on a financial thing where it's like, don't even get me started, but why am I going to place myself in a more difficult situation to try to reach these goals when I'm much better off here?
Yeah.
You know, because then it's like opportunities and this and that, yeah, but then it's like even just starting new in a new city, I'm already lower than where I am now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
you know?
Nah, I think it's true, and this goes to my point about it's not just again like academia that I think is like deteriorating in terms of status, but again, your job opportunities used to be way more limited without the internet, and I'm not just talking about like remote working. Um, your ability to connect to people before LinkedIn, it was probably really hard for a motherfucker in New England to go get a job in Oregon, and I know, somebody who did that. Like literally took the road trip out there too. You know what I'm saying? In the car, took their dog and everything.
Yeah, my friend, same thing for Oakland. Got a job in Oakland, California, literally coast to coast.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if that was possible. I wasn't alive 30 years ago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I just, again, the feasibility or at least the frequency of it, you know what I'm saying, has definitely increased. You know what I mean? On a final note, yo, we're gonna wrap up, man. Cause you're one of the first people who I didn't have to necessarily explain to like the theory on digital. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because not a lot of people think about digital in terms of space. Like, we've run out, for the most part, of physical space. You know what I'm saying? But even if there is a finite amount of digital space, I think as creatures, we're so small that it might as well be infinite to us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because we never, even if there is a limit, we never ever reach that.
We're never gonna find it, right? We're never gonna reach the end of the universe, but we know that shit is huge. But we also know that there's like an end point. There's a wall somewhere, maybe, or something, right? What are your thoughts on just like where do you think the digital age is going in the next 5-10? Let's go 5 years, because 10 years is a long time.
10 years with digital is a long time, and I think it's also one of those things where a 5-year difference, let's say from 1995 to 2000, is not the same amount of growth if you compare 2015 to 2020. Mm-hmm. Even though the same amount of time, even though it's the same like amount of actual time in terms of five years, but we've like the amount of growth that happens in those 5 years is different. So 5 years from now, I can't even imagine. I feel like honestly, I don't know, and I think there's so many different possibilities now with this new AI stuff coming out. Don't even get me started with that. Yeah, like with AI, like not even coming out because it's been around for a very long time, but with AI being a thing,
coming out to us at least, like, you know what I'm saying,
to like the masses.
Yeah. Fucking Wells Fargo or JP Morgan probably done had some great AI for the last 10, 15 years doing.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, with AI being a more common thing, let's say. Yeah. Now, things like virtual reality as well, like really trying to set their footing, because it seems metaverse. Like things like the metaverse, because like VR has been around for a long time as well, but it's always just kind of just been like a niche pocket. Yeah. Where it's like now they're trying to make it a norm, or now they're trying to make it like, no, this is the future. I don't think so, personally. I don't think the future is VR, but I honestly I don't know. I don't know, and it's kind of scary because I just feel like even me to my youngins, bro, I'm not even old. Like, I'm 26 years old. Yeah. And then like me to my youngins, like I feel like I have a very special group of high school kids that I think this group are very tapped into things like nature and being a good human being and the soul. I mean, like they're good kids, but I've seen kids their age that are completely disconnected from reality, where it's like their entire life is just digital age. They don't know how to communicate. Like, like they don't know how to how to socialize. Mm-hmm. Like, so there's a big disconnect, and I think that wedge is just gonna get bigger. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm sure of.
Not woof. I don't totally disagree with you, but I agree with you. What the fuck did I just say? I don't totally disagree with you, but I slightly, because this, I don't know. We are gonna have a new dilemma coming our way, and this is something we talk about with I talk about with Jimmy on the show before. I talk about this a lot with people in general. I remember part of the reason why I quit making rap music 4 years ago, was because the disconnect, that wedge between who I was on socials and who I was in real life. and who I would have to become to be a rapper or you know what I mean, a musician on social media, right? Or at least to blow up in the way I wanted to blow up, right? Because I could have gone the slower route and still been making music, but you know what, that wasn't for me, man. But I say that to say that, you know, one of the most critical philosophical struggles of the next 5 and I will say 10 years is sort of how do we coexist, or how do we split our existence between this digital space and this physical space, because now we have to have our phones, and we have to have certain sources of media just to engage in the community. You know what I'm saying? You disconnected if you don't got social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, yo. You can follow up, bro. Take us home, or we can leave it there, man. I'm gonna let you choose.
I mean, I've always been a fan of an ambiguous ending, but you know. But yeah, just I guess the last thing I want to say is that it's a little scary for sure, and it's like, you know, I think we are lucky enough to have been born in this really like Goldilocks zone of.
I think you're right.
You know, of growing up without it, but then being able to adopt it later on.
Yeah.
Versus being born with it, like being born into the digital age, where like having an iPad at 3 years old, and this is all you know is this digital. You know, it's so strange to me that
it's just like having another limb.
Yeah,
it's just normal as that.
It's become a part of us, and it's like I'm no better. My phone stays on me 24/7.
Yeah.
I've been, as I get older, I try to disconnect more. I take my screen time very seriously. I don't know if you should be doing that, but
I've been bad the last few months. I won't lie, but it's an up and down thing, man.
Oh,
you know?
For sure.
I have months where I'm like I'm good.
Yeah.
And months where I'm like this bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But I try my best to like really keep my screen time under a certain time and be mindful of those things. But again, I feel like we were born in this Goldilocks perfect zone of growing up without it and knowing what it's like to really be alive and have the human experience without these things, where the digital age was a luxury, really. That's what it was. Versus now, like the digital age is a reality, like people's reality.
Damn, son.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm done there.
Leave it there, because I feel like that's the best way to end it, man. I have things that I would say, but that would just spoil it. I would just like to reiterate it, because I think that is a really good takeaway. If anybody gets anything from this podcast, man, they're gonna get a lot out of this podcast. But the digital age used to be a luxury, and now the digital age is reality.
Yeah.
I'm putting that in a book.